Hello, during this video we're going to be talking about the oxygen concentrator made by DeVilbiss Healthcare. These oxygen concentrators come with 3 different flow meters that will give you different quantities of oxygen. You have one concentrator that goes from 1/8 of a liter all the way up to 2 liters. That's typically for a pediatric patient. You have a concentrator that will go from 0.5, half a liter, all the way up to 5 liters per minute. And then you have concentrators that will go all the way up to 10 liters per minute. For this particular video series, we're going to be using a pediatric concentrator, which goes up to 2 liters per minute. So a couple things that you need to know right off the bat with oxygen concentrator is that you cannot smoke around an oxygen concentrator. You cannot have any grease or petroleum type product on anything having to do with oxygen. No grease on any of this. Grease and oxygen do not mix and can possibly cause a fire. No open heat source within 10 feet of any type of oxygen device. So what I'm talking about is like a heater for the wintertime, a stove, a cooking stove. So 10 feet away from an open heat source. When you're using these concentrators, you don't want to keep them inside a closet. You want to have them in a ventilated area. Also, you need to give the concentrator room to breathe in the back. That's where it pulls in the air from around the room. So you want to give it at least 6 inches. You don't want to put it right up against the wall. Here's the on and off button for the oxygen concentrator, and we're going to turn it on here. Once we turn it on, all the lights light up to let us know they're working, and the alarm sounds to let us know that it's working. A lot of times, if the concentrator's been off for a while and you turn it on this particular unit, you're going to get a yellow light, and it's going to remain yellow for, it could be up to 2, 3, 4 minutes. During that time period, the concentrator is concentrating the oxygen to a therapeutic level. Once the oxygen is at a therapeutic level, and you can start using it, you have a green light. So if you do not have a green light with one of these oxygen concentrators, do not use the oxygen concentrator. If you have a perpetual yellow light or red light, then my recommendation to you is that you use your backup oxygen tank, call the equipment provider, and advise them of the situation with your concentrator, that they need to come out and resolve that problem. Concentrators, as I said, come in 3 different, these come in 3 different liter flows, and this is a 2 liter device here. It'll go down as low as 1/8 of a liter. This is how you adjust the ball to the level of oxygen that you want, or that your doctor has prescribed. And you have to have the ball right at the very middle of the line that represents the quantity of oxygen you're supposed to receive. If you're looking at the ball, you don't want to be looking at it from below or above. You want to get an eye level view of where that ball is to get an accurate liter flow on the concentrator. So if you're going to use a humidifier, this is what it looks like. This is called the bubble humidifier. And what you want to do is you want to remove the Christmas tree. Once you remove the Christmas tree, then you can attach the bubble humidifier. The bubble humidifier comes apart here, and you can fill it with distilled water. You can use either sterile water or distilled water. You have a minimum and a maximum amount of water that you can put in here. So you fill it up below the maximum line, and you screw the bottom of the bubble humidifier on evenly, and then you come over here and you do the same thing here. You want to make sure that this is threaded on here correctly, because if it is not, you're going to get a leak and you're not going to get the oxygen that you need to be getting. So make sure that you don't cross thread here and that you do not cross thread here. Once everything on is nice and snug and you got your water in here, then you're going to attach what's called the extension tubing, your oxygen extension tubing. Now, depending on what the provider sends you, if you get 2 of these a month, then change it out every 2 weeks. If you get 1 a month, then change it out once a month. Never get your oxygen tubing wet. That's very important. So we're going to take the oxygen tubing, we're going to connect it to the bubble humidifier. On the other side of the bubble humidifier, you have another connection that is exactly the same as the one that you used on this end. And you're going to take what's called a connector, and you're going to connect it to the oxygen extension tubing. And on the other side of the oxygen extension tubing is where you're going to connect your nasal cannula. This is an infant cannula because we're using a pediatric flow meter. And this is the pediatric oxygen concentrator. So this is the one we're going to use for when you have anything that's under 2 liters per minute, especially if it's under half a liter, which it will do a quarter of a liter or an eighth of a liter. You won't be able to do that with the 5 liter per minute concentrator. On the back of the unit, some of these units will have filters, some will not. In this particular unit, there's an internal filter here, but out here there's no filter for you to clean. So your responsibility back here is just basically to keep this clean, to wipe it down and keep it clean, as free as dust as you possibly can. If you lose electricity from the wall, you're going to get an alarm that's going to be one beep every 10 or 15 seconds. I'm not 100% sure, but it will start to beep, and it will continue to beep until you actually get your electricity running again, or you turn it off. Once the electricity comes back on, if the concentrator does not turn on with it, then what you need to do is you need to turn this off, press the reset button, and turn it back on. The bubble humidifier, if you are using a bubble humidifier and you're not getting at least one per week where you can change it out, you're going to have to clean it. You're going to have to do some maintenance on it. And so what you want to do is you want to do a basic dishwashing soap. You want to remove it, do a basic dishwashing soap, rinse well, and then you want to soak it in 1 part vinegar, 3 part water for approximately 15 minutes. Rinse it well, and then you're ready to use it again. Okay, and that's for your weekly maintenance on your bubble humidifier. If you get one every week, then just change it out. If you get 2 per month, then change it out every 2 weeks. This concludes our instruction on the oxygen concentrator. Thank you.